this because I'm actually going to start talking about something that's relevant since none of you guys really had anything besides just looking at some pairs. Something I'm going to talk about though, and to keep in mind, just to keep in mind in certain situations, okay? Because I didn't really talk a whole lot about this this past week or on Monday, but we talked about this trend line on gold. But I'm going to discuss this a little bit more because it's something like what happened was really, really good. So, and let's see, I think all of you guys on here, but two people haven't read the book. I think, I don't know, actually, Dejan, you haven't, Troy and MJ. So, Emerson, Devin, you're at that place. Alexis, you've watched it. Just talking about the adding to positions, which is good, and it's something I've been doing. I mean, today I had a gold trade. I'll show you guys real quick before I start. So this is my original trade. Oh dang, I got stopped out on that swing trade. I was just thinking I did a swing trade, so. But I did an M-top sell right here on actually a swing trade. And then my position to trade gold, like for scalping, was this little range right here. So there was a break that had happened right in here. And what I was looking at was I actually took a trade right here off of this zone. As soon as it broke and it came under there, that's all I was looking to see, was just see the candle break underneath, and take that trade right there. This is a trade that I had taken right here, right off this zone, right there. This is a trade that I took. And then I actually drew the trend like this on that, the smaller trend there. It didn't have a super big excitable move there, but it did have a nice little move. This was my first trade. Like I told Devin, I was like, I'm deaf because we were talking today. This is my next trade right there. And I added to my winning position. And really basis of it was just following price structure easily. I mean, you can see like these two dual lines right here was the top of the resistance of the hour chart, and it broke it. I sold up here for a swing trade, which I'm obviously stopped out now, and it did end up going decently in my direction from 1752 because I actually like once price broke this is where I actually ended up exiting. My stops were right here. This is where my stops were. Right there on that position and right there on that position. Like it was literally right here at 1750. And these are the two zones in which I took trades on. But anyway, you guys can see the structure that it had right here and where it was trading in. Again, this is no different than trading on a monthly time frame or a minute chart time frame. And good thing that a few of you have already read that part in the book. And I thought it was really cool when it talks about the curse of patterns in that section. I've been telling you guys this for the longest time, and it like made my confidence go way more through the roof, was whenever he said there's no difference between the 5-minute something index or the daily index or whatever. All a price knows is just money. That's it. It just moves. So that's something I've been saying for a long time. These are things I figured out. I mean, I've only read 2 trading books in my life, and the one I'm reading right now is the third. It's the third one I've been reading. So I haven't really read a crazy amount of trading books. I have a lot of real experience in the market. So I've experienced a lot with real money, demo money, other people's money, my own money. Like it doesn't really matter. Like I've experienced all the different emotions, but that's what's helped me become so good is because I do have that experience. And that's why I always tell you guys, like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, don't be afraid of this, don't be afraid of that. Like, you're gonna get it, it's all gonna come in full circle and you're gonna figure it out. But these are the things that, these are the two entries that I had, and you can see that follows price action correctly. 100%, you can see that. And then I had my other trade sitting up here. I actually did from literally I took like one trade here and I had like a 20 pip stop loss all the way up there. And then I took another trade. I actually did two trades and I took one like right there. And then I had like, it should have been a 15 pip stop, a 20 and a 15 should have been what it was, somewhere up there. So it's probably a little higher or a little lower than. So these are just the trades that I took and it was just sitting around there. Those are the two different trades, but these two right here, right? Just want you to look at something, then I'm going to explain something else. This trade went all the way down 7.5 to 1. This trade went all the way down 7 to 1. These two trades right here, you guys can see. This is a really, really nice trade. Now, I ended up being up 14 to 1 on these, and then it ended up coming all the way up. So you guys will see a revision of my scalping strategy. You guys will definitely see me switch things up and change things, for how I decide to do things. Like, you guys will definitely, you'll definitely see some things change, because going that amount of profit and then having these trades were just booming to having these trades like that was pretty awesome. But honestly, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really trade big lot sizes on these two because I was practicing. I didn't want to risk it or like risk a lot because it's something that I was new at really doing in scalping. I've done it swing trading, but not so much scalping. So I wanted to kind of get the feel of it, of how to maybe do that, because when you're up that, and I think like, if I'm going to trade, and these are real life instances you have to put yourself into, is when I have a 10 lot on gold and I add an equal size position with another 10 lot on gold. What is this dollar amount here, right? If I'm risking 1,000, I'm risking 1,000. If I'm risking that. So we're looking at basically 14,000 in profit in just a matter of minutes. But that's like where you're going to be at in all of this. Like, you're going to be at that place, and you have to see that for what it is and understand that. I wasn't trading big lot sizes. I was just trading one lot. That was it. So when I'm doing this, I'm looking like, okay, so I'm going to see this amount of money. My lifestyle, you pair this with your own lifestyle. What is it that, I need, or what kind of income do I want to make that is something that is, satisfying for myself, or that I feel good about, especially when you have the account size where $1,000 isn't even a 1% risk on your account. It's like, now it gets to the point where you just have to be patient enough to wait on the market to reach your zones, and you can make 4 figures a day easily. There's really no problems in making that. And then you understand, like, okay, where's my out point? That's why I've taken on scalping more, because I can make the income I need to live on a month. Because essentially, where I'm at right now in my lifestyle, if I make $10,000 a month from trading, scalping, just scalping, then I can pretty much cover all my bills times two in doing that from just scalping, not counting any of my other income, not counting the academy income, and not counting my income from the cars or anything, like any of the other academy income, like people signing up or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. So when you see that, you take that into consideration, what you want to do, and then scale that. You then scale that over time to like, okay, I just got a 7-figure home. I got, you know, another car. Want to get a car for my family. I want to do something for my family. I don't know what that is. I want to get into another investment property, anything like that. Like when you guys see things like that go on, then it's a little bit different of how you want to how you want to shift things. Because then at that point, you're playing a money game in the market, and it's only yours to lose based upon how you decide to do things within yourself. That's really the biggest thing. So it's really what you want to set within yourself. But when you're trading, you pretty much create the profit system of how you want, but understanding, like, seeing the market in the correct way, where you see the buyers are at, where you see the sellers are at, that's important. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna shift this over to the daily time frame, and I'm gonna talk about this big downtrend line right here. Okay, remember how I always say there's like two predominant patterns that are going on in the market. This was a double bottom right here. Like this one was right here. Whenever you see this was a really big double bottom. And for me, and when you look at it here, you're like, well, this is a double bottom too. I would understand and be like, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But for this is like the M top ones that I don't really like. This is the flip side of it. And this is just me. It doesn't really matter what I think though, but this is a preference in my mind that I have. So it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm just saying this one right here, this with this lower close than that high, that's personally something that I don't like. That more insinuates the start of a downtrend. So this thing has every reason to fly through here if it does. And it has the exact opposite effect. If it doesn't, it has every reason to go up. Now you've seen this thing push and go all the way up to there. This is the downtrend line. Now, I don't have any problem, with this downtrend right here. It's been going down for literally months, literally like the entire year. It started all the way up here in March, almost February, and then had been downtrending since. Same exact concept though. If it doesn't go down here, it is most likely going to fly up and pass. That means it has every reason to shoot past that point. That is why you have to make sure that you put your stop losses and you lock them into place. Someone texted me today and was like saying something that they used to be in the elite zone and talking about that they lost like a certain amount of money and they knew that they were right and they should have just taken out, they just shouldn't have not traded with stop loss. Well, as much sense as that doesn't make when you're doing that, the moment that you decide to take out your stop loss because you don't want to be wrong is whenever you will blow your entire account 100,000%. Because most likely people that are doing that also aren't trading risk management. Just like they say in the book, they're hopeful whenever the market is going against them. Hopeful whenever they should be. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but maybe one of y'all could type it in the chat. Hopeful to add to their winning positions. I can't remember the exact way that he says it, but basically, you know what I'm saying, that they're hopeful that the market is going to come back to them, but they're not hopeful that the market's going to continue to trend in their way, and don't add to positions and don't add to winning positions. Now, that's kind of why I came up with the concept of adding 3 positions on a trade, because you dynamically can make money in the market. So I'm actually never really taking like a half profit on it. I can just choose to take the profits, how they may fall, and give myself the ability to make large amounts of money whenever it does happen, or large percentages, because I know that there's going to be times whenever you're going to lose. It's just going to happen. But to give yourself the opportunity to be able to make money whenever the market is trending in your way is really, really big. Um, So hopeful when you're down and fear of losing your profit when, yes, exactly. So when you see this move right here is a very decisive move. Okay. This is exactly what I talked. This is exactly why I moved this line here. So right here, that's the excitable move. This is the definition of how, like, you cannot get any better than this. I damn near should have just stayed awake to literally take this trade if it came down there, because this was just golden. But you see this? This is like how I draw them on the chart. It does not get any better than this. It's like that clean cut, clear, and it follows perfectly. And you see that move that it does, it's a 500 pip move to the upside, all the way up to 1757, and it started at 1704, 1705, somewhere around there. Again, the 90% are thinking sell on this line. The 90% are saying so. So you know what's the best way to do that. And some of you guys know my strategy. I used to do this all the time. Was the stop buy stops. That's where you set your stop loss at 1783, 1782, buy stop 1605. Sorry, and stop loss at probably like 1679. 1680, somewhere like that. So that's like 60 to 50 pips. That move from 1685 to 1715, right there, that kind of move is a game changer. You wake up in crazy amounts of profit. So understanding that and seeing that, those things are extremely, extremely important to be able to see whenever you guys are trading like that. That's like that whole setup. Everything that I just showed you is extremely important to understand. All of these people right here, like all of these, like this makes all the sense in the world to be able to go to the upside. But it can also go up there and reverse off of that. But this is exactly why you have to have a stop loss in, because that'll blow your account easily. There was a big red flag though, because there wasn't a lower low before coming back to the downtrend line. Nobody should be taking that sell. I don't know if you're talking about a sell on what, I don't know what, like taking this out here.
Off that daily downtrend, because it was just like three equal lows. There was no lower low.
These lines right here.
Yeah, because doesn't it have to go to a lower low for the trend to continue? Like in theory,
About if
obviously,
to like break and create a low, or
yeah,
like
because
how
it didn't.
there
It just did three
down,
equal lows and then
up.
came back to the downtrend.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. That's a this is not this the amount of payout on this is pretty much, well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I sold this thing. I sold it right here. So that was an M top. It's kind of like, it's kind of like I sold it at 1680, like right around 1680, and my stop was at 1683. That's where my stop was. So I understand what you're saying, but then as soon as it starts pulling up those bullish sign or those bearish signs, like right here, there goes what I'm saying where I sold it, stop loss up there. This is, I was definitely awake whenever this happened. I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, this is nice. That thing went, and I actually had to take profit in this trade at 1667, surprisingly. And it was really only because of like this little zone here to here. This was the zone that I had it on, like literally right here. Funny, I remember talking to Byron about this. But and then that thing flew up off of that zone. But as far as, yeah, if you're talking about, trading like proper chart, like if it needs to do a downtrend, uptrend, like if it needs to break the low. Yeah. But again, this is a trend that has held all the way for a long time. And there's nothing, and I didn't get in, I didn't trade this on Friday. This actually happened Friday. But whenever price got to right here, this happened Monday, like literally right in the trading session, like whenever I was awake, and I seen that on New York session. I was like, oh, this is doing an M top right off of this zone. This is a nice trade set up through here, and price came all the way down. But again, what's the worst that could happen if you do this? And if you move your stops to break even, the worst that's going to happen is you get stopped out of break even and it goes up. And if this candle decides to go to the downside, then I followed what it says as far as the downtrend goes, because it never did. Here's the thing, in doing like a trend, the trend has to get broken for the downtrend to go away. So technically, this thing never ever was broken until that day right there, right? So even though it didn't go and make a lower low, doesn't disqualify that this is still a downtrend. Like, think of it this way: price needs to get an adequate amount of volume in order for it to move in a specific way. So for price to come back up here, this could be the amount of money needed in order to make price drop even lower and to suck up more sellers to get more buyers in because they don't want to miss a move because they have double bottom down here, whatever, all those different things. And then also when price gets back down to there, makes every good reason for this thing to grab liquidity right here and fly to the downside. So that's why you have to stick to your system. So if it says if you're going to be an M-top trader, just be an M-top trader. If you're going to be a double bottom, just be a double bottom trader. If you're going to be a trend trader, just be that. Break and retest, just be that. Fib trader, be that. Right? Pattern trader, be that. So when you're doing it, it makes life so much more simpler to trade that way, because then when you get in doubt and you start thinking, you're like, well, okay, well, what kind of trader am I? This is what kind of trader I am. And that's it. And you're just like, okay, I just need to be patient enough to wait on my entry to get to this point. And once I'm patient enough for price to get to that point, then I take the trade. And then that's it. And then you just let the market do what it does. But me telling you guys or sharing this with you is just letting you know, right? Like on this line, there's a major reason as to why this thing is going up. Like that's all the reason. That now this is like a huge double bottom. So what am I going to be looking at? Why do I have this line set up right here? Because I'm going to want to see price come down to this zone right here. And I'm going to be wanting to see what it does. Now, this trend might follow. This is kind of a retail trend. I'm watching it. I'm going to see what it does. But the way that I know gold moves, I know like right before it wants to do something, sometimes it likes to get a little weird, right? For instance, I'm looking at this, like whenever I sold gold, right? I sold gold. Oh yeah, I'm tripping. I was like, that. Why does this look weird? But it was right here. I sold gold. Stop loss was sitting right there at 1755. Now it went to 1757. This was not wrong to have done what I did. I just put it above that high. If anyone like sold up here, it's not wrong for them either. I mean, I can clearly see a trend that it did, and it broke here. Right as it went up there, it came down there, and it went up again. You just follow this line right here. That's all you got to follow is that. And I mean, there's your break right under there. Anyone who sold up here, sold here, it's not incorrect. Like that's not an incorrect thing to do. And price would be up. You'd be up almost 100 pips, literally. If you sold up here 1756, 1755, it went all the way down to 1747. So when you look at that and you see that, It's not wrong. Like how I did that, it wasn't wrong. I just got stopped out. The market wanted my money. I'm totally fine with that. I'm not even tripping. But what I'm saying is this little move up, now I can definitely see it dropping back down, especially since it kind of went up a little bit and it didn't do it like perfectly. Because you see this one, it hit it perfectly, dropped. Right here, it did it perfectly, dropped. It didn't drop far. None of these dropped far. They had very shallow retracements. 1682 all the way down to 1665. That's still 200 pips. All the way here's 1717. Came all the way down to 1705. That's 120 pips. This one first rejected there. Then it came right there. Right now we're at 100 pips. So if you take that into consideration, you're looking at what, maybe this thing rebounding like right here off of this level, maybe a little lower to like 1744. Because what does price tell you? It went down. This was a 200 pip, almost a 200 pip move, 1783 all the way down to 1665. So that was 180 pips. And this one right here was 130 pips. So you look 180, 130 from the tip of this 1657. So you'd be looking at like right here, 1742. This is where this would look at rejecting at, but we don't know that. I can sit here and say this all day, but we literally have no idea. I'm just giving you a guesstimate. And what will happen? People are going to see this and they're going to say, "Oh, gold is definitely going to go up." It's it is what it is. That's just what will happen. We really don't know. I don't know what it'll do, but I do know if gold comes to here, I'm going to buy it. That's what I do know. If gold comes to this line, I'm going to buy it. And that's the next step everyone has to get to is it's not about like anticipation of what happens, right? Like or like a concern or a worry, if that makes sense. What it's about is it's about a oneness and a connection to the market. And once it reaches the zone, you just follow your system. That's it. Then you just follow your system. So there's nothing else that can be done after that besides like, okay, yeah, I just gotta follow my system now. That's it. Just follow your system. Because then when you do so, you get large amounts of money that's going to come in, especially if you do the three position strategy and you trade like that. You don't put take profits in. There's no reason to. Like you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be up hella money, or you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be up hella money again. Like maybe not even more than where your take profit was. I don't know. But if you do that, it's like, what are you really losing? You're going to come back down and lose the trade, and then you're going to see that you were up that amount of money. It's only going to be up to you as if you get frustrated with that. That's all the choice you can make. So if you're going to be like, you know what, man, I can't believe that happened, it is what it is. That happens. I've had that happen plenty of times, and I feel way better, like literally, I'm like 100,000 times better by letting that big move run for me than I am if I take it out. Like the one, like something I have on my something I have on my phone whenever I'm doing it, like something that I actually have is when I'm doing it right, literally on my phone. I'm gonna read it to you what I got on there. I don't have the I don't have the weight for how X amount of people on there. I have, or X amount of people. I do not have the only trade off of three confirmations anymore. What I have are the four questions. The four questions are run positions and you get stopped out for nothing, right? That's one. Number two, run positions and it explodes higher. Number three, close out your position and it explodes higher. Number four, close your position and it reverses. I have that as a reminder every day. And all it does is it just lets me know what are the four things I need to be asking myself whenever I'm in a winning trade. This isn't this isn't a losing trade. This is whenever I'm in a winning trade. I can run my positions and I get stopped out for nothing, right? I can run my positions and it explodes higher. So I can move my trade to break even, is what that means. And I get stopped out at break even, nothing, right? It's just what happens. I can let my positions run and it goes way in my direction even more, especially whenever you're watching it and you're seeing it. And all these have to do whenever you're really like able to see it. If you have a limit order in and you're asleep, you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you're not even going to see it. It just happens. And you don't even have to have those thoughts that go through your head because you're going to be asleep, not even thinking about it. Then the next one is you close your position and it explodes higher. Now, me, that's the one I don't like doing is closing it and seeing it go way in my direction. Because then I'm more afraid of losing my profits and taking them out than I am letting myself have a huge winner that's gonna pan out. And to me, a huge winner really is something that's over like 15 to 1. When you see something like that, like a huge winner going, that can be something that can really help your account out a lot, especially if you've had like 5 losses in a row, 3 losses in a row, or maybe you're like more than that. I don't know. But those trades would definitely, and Devin, I mean, you sent me the screenshot today. You literally had like 57 losses in a row. And for small amounts of money, I know it wasn't that many losses, but then the one trade that you took was 22 to 1, made up everything. I don't know if that's the exact one, but it made up all of your losses on that. And you just let it keep rolling. So that's you close your position, and then what if you close your position and it reverses? Is that a win? Like, is that a win for you? I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. But today, whenever I was trading gold, I just seen like I'm up 7.5 to 1 on this one, 7 to 1 on this one. I'm pretty much up 14 to 1. Maybe I should have like a stop out of something. I don't know what it was, but just looking at it today, because today I really, really practiced it even more in scalping, because I can do it in swing trading. Swing trading is easy. Like, that's so easy to do. Scalping, everything moves a little bit faster. So I'm like in these zones right here, you know what I mean? Like these. Where I had this up here, I really liked it. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, I really like this trade because if it goes in my direction, it could come all the way down here to 1725. So for me, I'm like, I'm gonna let it ride. And I was totally fine with that. But in other times, whenever I'm possibly in these zones right here, because you never really know where consolidation is gonna hit. You don't. You have no idea if it's going to be like and how long it's going to be, but I can tell you one thing. If you just stay away from anything with odd and chef in it, you probably won't have to worry about it going left to right like a ridiculous amount because them damn things love to sit side to side and not really move. Now, if you get something at a high or a low, and when you like think about it, you don't really know what the real high is or what the real low is. But if you're good enough at doing chart analysis and you can see something like this, right? If you get this trade right here, for instance, me all day, if it's right here, I am 1000% not taking out my trade. Like I'm like, this thing is, I'm definitely letting it go up to here to this zone. And if anything, I'll move it to like here and live with it. Like, and be like, okay, this is what I'll make. And if it goes higher, I can go all the way up there, right? And let that thing ride. Now, this one down here, imagine getting this trade. And this is what I told Mike. I was like, bro, you got this trade in. I was like, you need to let this thing ride and let it ride. Well, he just let it go to his take profits. And, well, as you see, I got his orders in right now. These are his orders. So this one he didn't hit the last one, but these two he did. These two he did right here. So when you look at that, right, that move, that's going to be a massive move. Now he made up a lot of his losses with that trade, but when you see that right there, that's 16 to basically 17 to 1 and 44 to 1 on that. Sorry, 16 to 1 and 26 to 1. You see that? 17, 26. Those things can be moved. And again, that just gets moved when it happens. That thing can be moved to maybe right below here where you see it, because you got to let the market kind of do its thing and figure out what it wants to do, right? Take a sell there. Not a bad thing to do at all. Moves in profit, 120 pips. Come up here. You got your order. Now your stop just gets moved like this. It just moves to right here. Now you can move it to, sorry. It just moves to like right here. This is where your stop would end up going, like right to there. So that's 7 to 1 on that one. And then on the other one, you're going to be up even higher. So you move it right below. Why would I move it to there though, right? Why would I do that? The reason why I would move it to right here is because trend says that it would come back, retest, and then go up. So I'm going to put it a little bit inside of the retest zone, so that way I don't put it above it, because that wouldn't make any sense. That's not logical to put it there, because if it comes back, it's going to hit it and then go up again. You don't want to do that. So like on this next move here, if you're adjusting this, you know you're going to add to position right here. This is where you're going to look at it right there. This is adding to your position at this zone right here, right? And you do the same thing. You just move it up. You're just like, okay, well, move it about right here. As soon as it explodes higher, I'm going to take it to there, just like that. And you're looking at like 20 to 1, 32 to 1 on this right here, right there, sitting at that zone. And then if you add to that winning position, you do it the correct way and you get in off of the trend, that would work. It's 30 pip stop loss there. You add your new balance over to there, like that. And that'd be a 30 pip stop on that zone right there. You could go probably 50, 40, 30, like that. You could probably go 40, 30, 20, something like that on that setup right there easily. And I mean, you're looking at 17 to 1 on a 30 pip stop loss. So on 40, you'd be like 14. And then on 20, you'd be even way higher than that. So you see the way whenever these things happen, it's 32, 17. It doesn't trend this good. And I mean, think about how many times we've done a webinar and it's looked to a T that perfect. I mean, you just look at that. Think about how many times. Not a lot of times. But like I say all the time, the easier something looks on your eyes, the easier it's probably going to be to trade. That'll be a coin, that'll be a phrase that whenever I'm a famous trader one day and everybody knows who the hell I am, they'll be like, yeah, that's one of his go-to phrases, because that's definitely one of my go-to phrases. Every time, the easier it looks on your eyes, the easier it's going to be to trade, literally. How easy does that look on the eyes? You can clearly see the trend. You can see it perfect. Then when you mark it up, it's like, damn, how did I miss that? And the same thing with GJ. It's like, look how perfect that was. M top perfectly up there. Look at that trend right there. Look at that trend. You can take that same stop loss. What is this? A 25 pip stop loss. And you're going right there on that zone at 25 pips. Right here on this zone, and it holds right here on this. That's a 25 pip max trade on that zone. 25 pip, like that's like your max that you're going to right there. That's 10 pips over that stop loss. You see that 167.514? That is 10 pips beyond that zone on 25 pips. That would work perfectly. Look at that. Every time. This one's getting every position. This one's getting a 14, a 15, and why does it say the same thing? A 20 and a 15. So you got 25, 20, and 15. So you look at that and say you don't, trade this right here. Let's just say you get that same, you get it over to here. At the end of the day, this is the trade you're getting right here on that zone. That one went 12 to 1 on that. So where would you place your stop loss on this? Pretty easy. All your stop losses are going to go right above there, just like this. So this one, you'd put it, let's see. So this is like 5 to 1. So yeah, you could comfortably set that right there. Every single one of these right there. See this? Every one of these sitting right there. So you got 18 to 1, 13 to 1, and whatever this one would be. And this is just the stuff that I've already told you guys, like the things that you guys already know. M top, everything 10 to 1. So 10, 23, 41 to 1, 45 to 1 on that. So that's what you would make. 45 to 1. Like that right now. Like that's what you would make. So I hope in me showing you guys this, you're starting to get the to grasp like, holy shit, I can make a lot of money if I let my trades letting them roll. And then again, this is why I don't take profits in my trade. In my trades, I don't do it. I put 3 positions in and I let them hold. And every single one of you guys, besides 2 people, were at the retreat whenever I said, and Emerson, you asked me the question at the retreat. Are you going to take that position out, the small position, like if it's like 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, 5 to 1? No, I'm like, no, I'm not taking it out because that's the breadwinner right there. That thing, if it starts trending and moving, yo, I'm chilling. That's money right there. So when you see stuff like this, and this is if you didn't take this one or you didn't take this one. In all reality, um, this might be the only one that any one of you guys may actually take is that one. Maybe you could argue and say you'd get this one right here. I don't know. I'm just saying the one that definitely follows trend is that one. So that's 45 to 1. And you just put your stop right here and let it chill. Now, how much would it have went if it was there? It was up 12 to 1. And let's just look at this. And this is what I'd be telling you I'll be doing. That's 32 to 1. So that's 44 to 1. This is 23 to 1. So that's, what is that, 44? So that's 67 to 1. And then 18 to 1. So you add 67. So let's just add 20. Yeah, you're balling. That's what you're doing. You're definitely balling on those trades. Like what, 85? 67?
It's 85 to 1. It's just so funny. You're like, screw the math. You're just balling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. Is just balling on that. And I mean, that's what it's up. But watch this. Just following proper price action, you are literally sitting. And this is 1% risk each trade. You are 45 to 1 if this thing comes right there. And guess what, y'all? Guess what this thing just did? It just went and whipped out all those people right here. It's got every reason to keep going down, especially the way it just came up to there. Now, if you do it the right way, your stop is going right up here. You're gonna put it right up there, and that's exactly where you're gonna. Now, if it goes up there and does it and hits it, okay, that's fine. It just does what it does. You can't control that. Just find another place to get in at. But if this thing goes back down to now, here's where this thing has the potential to go down to. Is that? Yeah. way down here. So 160, let's just say 161. Let's just say 161. And we'll do it off this position. So you're looking at 25 to 1 on that. 25 to 1 on that. 31 to 1. 40 to 1. 54 to 1. And I actually didn't even drag that enough down. 55 to 1. Yeah, that's what you're looking at. Around here is where, like, if it doesn't stop out here, it should keep continually dropping. Obviously, the next zone of trade is going to be up there, but that's what I'd be looking at right there for that setup is that. And I mean, you're not there's nothing to lose on that move. Nothing. You have nothing to lose. You just keep moving. Now, what would happen if it does break this zone? Where are you going to move it? You're going to move it right here. It's going to go about right there in that zone because it would have already qualified to break that right there. Plus, I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but you'd have this little zone here. So that's pretty much like a rejection point that it did. So this is how you would move it like that because it would be looking to break this. And so you're like 15 to 1, 20 to 1. So that's 35 to 1, and 25 to 1 is 60 something to 1. And then this one would be 9 to 1. So it's like 70 something to 1 on that. Just and this is just proper stuff. So hopefully everything is starting to really click. That's why I told you guys read the book. And I'm really glad you've read it, Alexis and Emerson and Devin. You're almost done with it. MJ and Troy, you guys are going to have to get it because these sessions, I'm telling y'all, would make even more sense of what I'm saying. And I know Alexis and Devin and Emerson know what I'm talking about. You guys got to get it. It's going to be great. It's a requirement. I have a lot of cool things I'm doing next year for the academy, like stuff I'm going to do. But just making sure that you're ahead of, like, that you're moving in unison is going to be important because there's some really big things. Next year's the Jordan year for all of us. It's 2023 next year. So we got some big things that we can accomplish. And I want to see all of you guys accomplishing those feats. But it's not going to be before you do not get out of your own way. That is going to be the biggest thing. That is going to be the biggest thing. But do any of you guys have questions? Because otherwise, I'm going to get my ass off here and go eat. I'm so hungry.
Would you take a trade off that break and retest
On
of
this
your horizontal line?
one right here,
Yeah.
so I mean, looking at it, I could see like a trade like doing it, but I would base it a little bit more off the daily chart. Most of my swing trades actually are based off the daily chart. So do you see how it's not really a break and retest anymore off the daily? Like it's,
Yep.
yeah, see it. So when I get into
Yeah, it's nothing.
swing
Yeah.
trading, I'm basing it more off of that. Is what I'm doing it. Especially like in this zone, like this would think of it logically. All of the people who are retail traders are trading off of this 4 hour and under. So they're like seeing this here, and this already did this little pull move here, came all the way up, right? This thing is showing an inverted head and shoulders as well. You can see that inverted head and shoulders that it's doing. This little move up
Yeah.
here, you can see it's coming up to that zone. It looks good as far as like, oh, structure, yeah, yay, it looks good. And that's exactly why I wouldn't do it because as far as retail zones go, I don't really like it. I like this structure a lot more and I would live with it coming up there. If it does reject right there, then this thing is just heavy in sellers, just heavy. But this is the one I
So
like.
you'd be waiting more for that gold box to do a break and retest?
That one is really good too for a move. But as far as this one goes, no, I wouldn't take a trade on that. I would just
Yeah,
have
that makes sense.
positions set right here, like right there, 166. Like everything would be posted up like right here. Like if I was actually in this trade, everything would be right here. Like that's
I'm using this to set my. I'm in the EJ trade right now, so I was just switching my stop losses because they're all. It's doing the exact same thing. Remember, I sent you that picture of that zone, and I was like, "Is this a buy zone?" And you're like, "No," but it just retested off of it, and so I just moved my stops.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean you sold it up here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was based off of like through here,
That, and then
like an end top or something.
yeah, it was off that zone, and then like a huge break and retest off the daily. Is it the daily or the 4? From September 25th.
Yeah, I did it right.
It did a break and retest off that. So it was like that downtrend down to break and retest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said I had 5 positions in on this, but I have 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
That one's a
I
little.
was looking at.
You see how this one doesn't really have structure to show you like a good place to put a stop, like GJ did.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's like I was just gonna put it above that wick.
I would say this candle is going to be a strong indication. Yeah, like here where it went down, I would say this candle. Yeah, yeah. If you wanted to go like 146, like one, I would say that'd be a safe spot to put it.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna put it at 1.5. I just started to do it, but I can do one. Yeah, I'm okay with losing those extra 5 pips. It's 10 pips above that wick.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be like put it behind this right there.
Yeah,
In our
yeah,
mind, and I know me looking at it, this is how I have to think. Does my does my mind come in and say, damn, that thing's all the way down at 145 and that's all the way at 146, that's 100 pips. I'm up X amount of dollars. Shit, that's kind of far to put it up there. Maybe I should put it up here. But chart analysis says put it there. You see what I mean?
yes. I was just having that dilemma with myself, like
Hmm.
right before the call and as we're on the call, because I was looking at GJ and then I looked over at EJ and I'm like, damn, there's literally nowhere good to put this
Yeah. Well,
besides
you
125 pips up from where it is.
Yeah, you think there's somewhere good to put it, but it's just you don't really agree with what the chart says.
Exactly. That's why I said I put it at 146.15.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's the spot that it has to be at. Like that makes
Now,
sense. But
yep. Now
I
watch.
also know from reading that book that if I put the stop anywhere else, I'm training my mind for failure.
Exact. That's what I was about to say. Now I was gonna say. Now watch this. If it doesn't go and stop you out and say it comes like up here or up here or something, and then it begins to like say the end of the Friday, it comes all the way down to here. Then that's a win for you because you didn't put it anywhere here where your mind wanted the money. You put it where the structure said to put it. So and then you train your mind for the next trade that comes about to do the exact same thing. It's building a habit. That's all it is. Just like the habits you've built right now that your mind thinks of whatever, it's the same thing. You're just building a habit.
Yeah. And I accepted that if it comes up there and stops me out, I make a little bit of profit. I lost out. I mean, it's not that I lost out. Like my trade was up like 22 to 1, but that's okay because at least, like you said, I'm building the habit, right?
Yep, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Literally. You do that, that's it. Anybody else have any other questions or comments or concerns? If you guys didn't comment on my post that I just made, I'm gonna start kicking people out for that too. If I see that y'all ain't commenting, I'm gonna be like, dang, I gotta do it. Yeah, MJ, you gotta go comment, bro. Oh, and I'm gonna say this: make sure I'm gonna be doing the Sunday calls on Instagram. I will be doing it on my Instagram live. So I'm gonna be doing it because I want to do something like that. Those are free anyway, so I want to like do it there. So on my Instagram, you just gotta hop on there. It's gonna be the same thing. It'll be on my Instagram live, just like I normally do it on Sunday, but I'm just gonna do it for people. So I'm gonna be shifting
So no go-to meeting, just Instagram Live?
just on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so you guys can get on there and watch the Sunday calls on that. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah. Um, but I'm just messing with y'all about commenting on my stuff, or about kicking y'all off or whatever. I'm being dumb. But all right then. Well, that's that. I know we went over a little bit of different stuff today. Those of you guys who didn't get on, and you're watching the recording, there's no reason that you got to be past 10 minutes and getting on. I usually wait. I will sit here until 7:05 and do whatever I'm doing on my phone, and I'm usually here unless I had like a late session and I'm getting out the shower. But I've always have this thing usually started by 7, like by 7. There's sometimes if stuff comes up, I'll tell you, but for the most part, I try to get on and make sure that I'm here and attentive. And so that's something that everybody needs to make sure that they can do is set that time aside and make it a priority because that is where you are paying your attention. So that is another way I'm getting people to pay better attention is making sure that you get on not too late, you're on and you're ready to go. Because this is exactly what is going to help you guys make millions of dollars for the rest of your life. And it's only going to take like 5 years. It might not take that long for some of you, but it's probably going to take between 3 to 5 years to really start seeing the money that you want to make. Some of you will make it under that time because you don't have any bad habits built up, Alexis. So other people that have been doing it for a long time got bad habits that have been built up. So just things that come up in trading that you have to let go of and you build good habits and different things like that. But with that being said, my lovely friends, you guys have a great evening. Appreciate you guys getting on. And remember, Sunday's call will be on Instagram Live. And I need to remember that my own damn self. But all right, y'all. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And I will speak to you guys later. Peace out, everybody.